Bitcoin had a very bearish week. We broke below a critical support area and Bitcoin retraced all the way back to $65,000. Can we see some bullishness coming into the market next week? In this video I will give a little recap of this week and I will also tell you what is going to happen next for Bitcoin. I will also discuss Chainlink and Ethereum and I will look at some other interesting crypto news. So slap up that like button and let's dive right into the charts. We can see Bitcoin had a very bearish week and we broke below this horizontal support on the daily time frame. When we broke down, I was tweeting about it on my Twitter page that Bitcoin broke the horizontal support and that we will see levels around the $65,000. Because this is a very interesting horizontal level, as you can see, we can see multiple touch points in the past as resistance and also as support. And yesterday we bounced from this $65,000 support and we came a little bit back up. So we can see this support is holding strong for now and this was a very interesting level. So you could also have placed some orders here. You could have like a spot order or maybe a trade order. So congratulations if you had something of an order at this support area. It's the weekend now, so I expect a little bit more sideways action for the coming days. And on Monday we will see some trading action again. And earlier this week we saw a huge rejection happening for this Bitcoin resistance on the top side. We saw a lot of touch points here. We saw 4 touch points on the top side, and this is the biggest resistance for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So if we go back to this resistance area for the 5th time, it gets weaker and weaker every time we touch it, and eventually we want to see a break to the top side, a retest of this previous resistance to turn it into support, and then aim for higher targets. Yeah, but for now we saw a big rejection, and we have to aim a little bit for lower levels. And we are now back at this $65,000 range, and currently we are above the $66,000. So we have to be a little bit more patient, but I expect a little bit more bullishness coming into the market in the coming weeks and months. And everything could happen very fast because in 1 week we came back from the 72,000 to the 66,000. So it could also be a possibility that we're going to see the new all-time high next week, for instance. But let's be a little bit more patient. But that kind of crazy price action could happen anytime. And the Bitcoin ETF saw a very bearish week. Yesterday we had another very bearish day and it was an outflow, and we saw an outflow of $189 million. So that is insane. We can see BlackRock didn't sell in the last 14 days. So that is one bullish note actually. But Fidelity is selling heavily, and of course Grayscale still keeps selling. So when these Bitcoin ETFs stop selling, we can maybe see some bullishness coming into the market, and we're already falling below this $15 billion mark again. So that's a little bit more bearish. But we have to be a little bit more patient what is coming for the Bitcoin ETFs in the coming week. And in my videos of this week, I've been talking about this breakdown of this upward sloping support area, and we broke down. We can see a retest of this previous support to turn it into resistance, and then we come further back down. So this was also a very good short trade to make, and from the point of retest you could have already made more like a 6% already. So that was an insane trade. So for now we have to be a little bit more bearish, and as I was saying yesterday in my video, the breakdown target, it will be the start of the impulse, and that will be around the $58,000. So we could also see more bearishness coming into the market and eventually come all the way back to this $50,000 mark. So this is a possible scenario, and keep in mind that this bearish scenario is also in play. But for now, Bitcoin is still in this huge range, and if we break below this $50,000 range, then I think we could maybe see an end of the bull market. And if we break above this range, we could see a new all-time high unfolding, of course. But for now, we want to see the bullish scenario playing out, of course. But keep in mind that we could also see the bearish scenario playing out. In the coming weeks, I expect that we're going to see a more raising of this area. The bigger the consolidation phase will be, the bigger the breakout volume will be. So the next move will be insane if we break out of this huge range. And this week we had an interesting week because we saw the inflation was a little bit lower than expected. The US inflation falls to 3.3%. And it was a little bit less than expected. So this was very bullish for the markets. And then later that day we had the Federal Reserve pass the interest rate hikes as expected, and they remained the same rates. But the tone of Jerome Powell was a little bit more hawkish, and he said that we had to wait for an inflation rate of 2% before we even see a rate hike in the future. So that had a little bit more bearish effect in the market. And we also saw that Michael Saylor is trying to raise $500 million to purchase more Bitcoin. And yeah, in the meantime, it's already to $700. So he's trying to raise $700 million to purchase more Bitcoin. So this will also have a very bullish effect on the markets. And yeah, Michael Saylor is just the biggest bull I know. Yeah, I think he will go down a legend in the future. And also we had Donald Trump saying he will end Joe Biden's war on crypto and ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in America. So yeah, we have the first crypto president, and this is very bullish because a couple of years ago we couldn't even imagine that politicians were talking about Bitcoin in a positive way. Another interesting chart for Bitcoin is this weekly time frame chart. We can see this beautiful run up, and now we're in this consolidation phase for a couple of weeks already. And this is a very interesting chart because we can see a bull flag unfolding, and this bull flag has a very interesting breakout target. So when we want to measure the breakout targets for the bull flag, we have to measure it from the start of the impulse to the top of the bull flag, and then we measure it from the support area to the breakout target, and then we can see the breakout target will be approximately $106,000. So that is an insane gain from here. And yeah, the longer this consolidation phase will be for Bitcoin, the bigger the next move will be. And yeah, we want to see a break of this resistance area, turn it into support, and from there we can pump exponential to new all-time highs. But for now, yeah, this consolidation phase is still happening, and yeah, and people are still bearish at this point. I don't know how this can be a very bearish pattern, because we had this run up all the way to here, and now we're consolidating a little bit. So yeah, I think this is very healthy actually for Bitcoin to have this consolidation. And yeah, the next move will be very exponential and very massive. And if we break this new all-time high, yeah, we will see retail coming into the market, and then we get a lot of FOMO, and that will push up the price even more. The first altcoin I want to discuss with you is Chainlink. Chainlink yeah, had this beautiful range. We saw support and resistance here. These are very interesting horizontal support and resistance areas. And we have to keep in mind that yeah, we fell below this support area now, because we saw a dump of Bitcoin and Chainlink was just following. So I expect that we're going to see a revisit of this previous support to turn it into resistance and maybe come back further back down. Or we can see a break to the top side again and yeah, create maybe a new high. We could also see that we're coming down to this lower side support area, and this will be a little bit more bearish effect. But in the end, I think this support area will be the main area to accumulate more Chainlink. And for me, this is a heavy accumulation zone, because I think Chainlink will be a very interesting play in the bull market. So for now, I expect that Chainlink will be ranging between this horizontal support and resistance area, and eventually we will need to see a break to either way the top side or to the downside. And from here we have to be a little bit more patient, but we can also see a little bit more of a bearish trend, because we saw a lower high, but we are now maybe creating a higher low, and then we can maybe see it like that the price is getting squeezed into this apex, and eventually Chainlink has to pick a side, and we will go either break to the downside or the top side, and this will create the next big move for Chainlink. Another altcoin I've been talking about a lot lately is Ethereum. And we can see Ethereum also fell below this huge support area due to the fact that Bitcoin was dropping. And yeah, we should now go back down to this support area, because this is a very interesting support area, because we can see a lot of touch points in the past as a support, and we also saw it as a resistance. And now we can maybe come back down to turn it into support again, because yeah, after we broke the resistance, we came back down, but we never touched this again as support. So it's very healthy to see Ethereum retesting this previous resistance as support, and from there we can maybe aim for higher levels again. And yeah, from here we will also see that Ethereum will be ranging inside of this horizontal support and resistance area. And maybe in July the Ethereum spot ETF will go live and be approved, so that will also have a very bullish effect on the markets, and yeah, it will pump up the price even more. So yeah, if the Ethereum spot ETF goes live, we will maybe see a lot of more inflows in Ethereum, and it will create this regional high. But for now, we have to be a little bit more patient that we are breaking this resistance. And if we go back down, we need to hold this support. And otherwise, if we break below this level, we are going to be a little bit more bearish. But yeah, with all the Ethereum spot ETF news coming out lately, I expect that we're going to see more bullishness coming into the market for Ethereum. So I hope you find this video useful. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.